Shalom Israel. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Mashiach, Malak Yahushai. Shnakamaya with WFI Minneapolis with a quick video. Got the Passover coming up in a couple of days. I'm going to come with Judges 5 and verse number 11. It says, they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his village in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gate. So we got to rehearse these righteous acts in these last days, such as keeping these high holy days that the Lord ordained us to keep, such as the Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread that is coming up in a couple of days. It's not going to be perfect. We're not in the land to keep it according to the law, but we rehearse these righteous acts. You know, the Lord is looking at our sincerity, right? And the effort that we're putting in to serve him and make our calling election sure. I'm going to go to 1 Samuel. So I'm going to go to 1 Samuel 16. I'm going to go to 1 Samuel 16 and verse number 7. And it reads, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. So the Lord, he's looking at your sincerity. He's looking at your heart, your mind, right? He's not looking at the outward appearance. That's what men look at. Men look at the outward appearance, right? Such as at the Passovers, man. You know, a lot of people tend to look at a brother's garment and they look at a mighty man. You know, a brother got on a $500 garment, custom made, you know, and they see that and they think, hey, this is a mighty man of God. Just no different from a pastor. You know, you see a pastor in gator shoes and, you know, $1,500 suits and ties, but he's wicked. You know, same thing with people in this truth. You know, just because the brother has on a nice garment doesn't mean that the brother is pure, that the brother is sincere and holy and righteous. So we can't look at things like men do. We got to look at things how the Most High does. You know, we got to look at that person's spirit and his sincerity, because the garment doesn't mean anything. It's good to come with a clean, nice garment, especially for the Passover, but don't think because that brother has a nice garment on that brother is righteous or that he's sincere, man. You got to look at that man's heart. Scripture says you'll know a man by his fruits, man. Right? Because you had many brothers that kept many Passovers that had nice garments. And, hey, a lot of them fell out the truth. Now they're Old Testament onlys. Some of them are teaching that salvation is for all nations. Some of them ain't even in the Bible at all. You know, they done converted to Islam or you know, Egyptology. But they attended many Passovers with nice garments, right? So it's not about your garment. Yeah, you can come with a nice garment, but it's not about that garment. You want to make sure your spirit is right, especially for the Lord's Passover, right? It's better to come to the Passover, you know, with a garment that's not as mighty as, you know, this brother or that brother, but your spirit is mighty. You want to have a mighty spirit, man. How much more a mighty spirit with a mighty garment versus a man that has a mighty garment and a wicked ass spirit, man. Excuse my language. This is Matthew 7 and verse number 15. It reads, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. You see that, man? You got to look at a brother's insides, man. And we don't really know what everybody's doing behind closed doors, but the Lord knows. Him and the Lord knows. And it will be made manifest in due season. Just like the brothers that attended many Passovers and Lord sifted them out. So don't think that you have to have this mighty garment to attend any high holy day, man. Get your spirit right first with the Lord. Right? I'm gonna go to Matthew, verse number 23 and 5, because that's how the Pharisees was, man. They had mighty garments, but inwardly they were raven and wolves, man. Hypocrites, wicked men. You know, love to be seen, love to sit in high places, man, and get praise from men. You shouldn't give a damn about them getting praise from men, man. This is Matthew 23 and 5. It says, but all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments, man. A lot of brothers, hey, do this thing and be seen. Mighty, mighty garment. Ain't nothing wrong with having a mighty garment, but some brothers, their intentions are, I'm gonna have the mightiest garment at Passover, but he just got done popping a married woman a week before the Passover. Right? But he has the mightiest garment. Right? So instead of preparing to get his spirit right for the Passover, he's preparing to get his damn garment together. Paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for a nice garment for the Passover, but yet wicked as hell, man. And the Lord's gonna destroy these men. Let me go to Ecclesiastes 9 and verse number 8. So you want to you want to have a clean spirit, man. I'd rather come to the Passover with a dingy white tee on with fringes on it, and have a clean, sincere spirit, than to come there with a $1,000 garment and my spirit is just off, just wicked. And none of us are perfect, man. We all go through what we go through, but the Lord knows our sincerity. He knows our heart. He knows our spirit, our mind. This is Salakia, going to limitations. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse number 8, and it reads, it says, hold on. Ecclesiastes 9 and 8, Salakia. It says, let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment. Man, you don't want to lack that knowledge, and you want your garment to be white, man. You want to have and white represents righteousness. So the inner garment is more important than the outer garment. So the Lord didn't say, let thy outer garments be white. He said, let your inner garments be white. It didn't necessarily say that, but that's what it's talking about. It's talking about your spirit, right? Because you got men that have clean clothes on, but they wicked. So this is talking about a spiritual garment, an inner garment, right? So we want to make sure that we come to this Passover with a clean inner garment, right? To complement your outer garment. Clean outer garment. I'm gonna go to one more scripture. I'm gonna go to Exodus, the 12th chapter, and I'm gonna go to verse number 8. It reads, and they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. So this is going into the Passover, right? The origins of the Passover. Eat not of it raw. So you don't want to be like a damn Edomite, man, eating raw lamb, right? It says, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs and with the purtenance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. That which remaineth of it until the morning, ye shall burn it with fire. So you got to burn everything before the sun rises. Bones, fat, can't eat the fat. You got to burn the bones, whatever you have left over. You can't save anything. Everything has to be burnt. It says, verse 11, and thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. So you can't take your time eating the you got to eat it in haste. You know? It says, verse 12, for I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all of the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. Salaki, it says, and this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord. It says, and you shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. So we got to perpetually keep this, even in our captivity. Even though we're not in the land of Israel, we still have to keep this Passover and rehearse these righteous acts. It's not going to be perfect, but we're rehearsing, right? It says, 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the 7th day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No man, hold on, Salaki. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this self same day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, which will be the 15th day, ye shall, of the first month, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses, for whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. So you have to get rid of everything that contains leavening in your house. And you want to get the leavening out of your spirit. Verse 20, ye shall eat nothing leavened in all your habitations, shall ye eat unleavened bread. So we want to make sure that we're rehearsing these righteous acts. Keep the Passover with a clean spirit. Make sure your inner garment is clean first. And rehearse the righteous acts. Continue to endure, continue to fight. Stay in the spirit. Magnify the name of the Lord. Do what you can to magnify the ministry. And always be sincere in what you do. But with that, all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Mashiach, Malak Yahushai. Shalom.